Welcome to the Sanctum All. This is Ale, and today we're going to review the Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell, and the artwork is done by Danielle Noel. So, I want to talk about these particular cards because I had heard about them. I've seen some of the cards in other readings on YouTube, but I also want to talk about sometimes looks can be deceiving. This is where this deck comes into. Now, anybody who knows me personally will tell you I am not a frou-frou girl. And just ignore the noise behind me as I'm trying to clean up some of the mess that I've been doing. By frou-frou, I mean like I am not a frilly girl unless it comes to jewelry, in which case, frou-frou away. But at the same time too, I love purples. There are certain pinks, magenta colors that I like. I'm not a big red fan. However, certain reds are really great, especially the jewel tones. And when I originally saw this deck and I saw what it was about, I was like, that looks interesting. I might end up getting it. But I put it off. And the reason why I put it off was I looked at the outside coloring and I looked at the back of the cards, which I want to show you. Which, by the way, in the inside of the box, it says, "You are the Oracle," which is awesome. And it says it on the inside of the cover as well. Isn't that great? So, this is one of those things where don't judge a book by its cover deal. I had seen the backs of these cards. So, which, it's pretty. It's so not me. I am the usually the deeper jewel tone cards. I mean, I have a chakra postcard that I was given. This is more me, the deeper, brighter colors normally. And so this deck got put off a while because of, even though as an author I don't usually judge a book by its cover. What I do sometimes is I put it off because I'm not sure by some of the description whether or not it'll be perfect for me. And there was a reading I had watched on YouTube, and I saw a couple cards that really kind of hit home, but they were really beautiful cards. And I was like, what the hell? So I reverse searched them, found out it was related to this deck, and I said, obviously there's more to this deck than I thought. So I picked up the deck and I wanted to go over it with you today. Because then when I opened up the deck and I showed the cards to a couple of friends online, Peggy and Silver and a couple others, they were like, wow. And I was like, yeah, pretty much it's about what I thought is. These are spot on. Woo! These will hit you like a brick. So I want to show them to you. They're not in any particular order because I have been using them. But they're gorgeous. Pillar of Light, Star Mother. And although there are some that are more New Age or non-deity, there are some that are more Christian oriented, which is not necessarily my belief system, but others. And I respect that because of the fact that some people that I give readings to are Christians. So, soul family, this card is really important to me, and for my soul family out there, it was probably the first card that popped up when I was showing the cards, and I went, well, it's gonna be like this, I can tell. And this one says, trust your path, and then share your voice. And I saw this card in a reading and I said, look at that card. And I realized that, oh, they have darker cards that are a little bit more less pastel and a little bit more interesting. The Mirror. This one really kind of hit me hard. Birthing a New Age. The Council of Light. The Sisterhood of the Rose, which is probably one of my favorite cards within this deck. This is the one of the Christian ones I was talking about, the Anna, grandmother of Jesus. It's not quite my thing, but it is a beautiful card. This one, Deep Replenishment. I was like, oh, I see where you're going here. Because it came up while I was just pulling cards, and I was like, so what you're telling me is I'm not doing enough self-care, blah, blah, blah. I see what you're doing. So, one of the things about the book, this is, by the way, by Hay House, so there's no colors in the cards. So, but the information here is outstanding. So what it does is it tells you the definition. It tells you a little bit about what to expect, and then it talks about working your light. Everything's going to be okay. Let it crack you open. The ever unfolding rose, which, by the way, is probably one of my very favorite cards in this book. Now, one of the interesting things about this book is it talks about you are the oracle, and you can go direct to the source. It's to help you to connect to your intuition, clearly hear the whispers of your soul, align your life to who you are at a soul level, and tap into the field of consciousness where all wisdom resides. And it's interesting because suit 1 is the confirmation cards. There's 5 different suit cards in here. These are the ones that say yes and no. These are, in fact, there's one card that says yes. Boop. And I was like, huh. There's one that says no, and it says pause, withdraw back, draw back. It says think about what you're going to do, postpone. And I was like, huh. And then when you get to the page, when you look at the word yes, it has yes like 155 times across the page. It's like, and I started giggling because it was just so funny. I loved it. There's inquiry cards. Those are inquiry prompts to help you to clearly hear the whispers of your soul, voice them, and then let them move you. Action cards. Those are the ones that inspire you to specific physical action. They prompt a movement. They get you out of your head and into an action of some sort. Activation cards. They activate energies and healings within you or the person you are reading for. Transmission cards. They are initiations and transmissions, connecting you to the energies that you want to work with in current time. So, the only thing that I can tell you that makes it a little bit tough for this is that you can't tell which is which. That is about the only... I think that would be the only thing I wish, is that there was a symbol that tells you which kind of card it is. That they were numbered, or in some way, so you knew when you went from one transition to another. Like a little symbol that said, hey, you're going from one suit to another. And it talks about like open up a sacred soul space. And they have different oracle spreads, like a 1 card spread, a 2 card spread, a 3 card spread, and things of that, and like even doing like a Celtic cross kind of spread. Now, you're probably wondering what this is, by the way. A friend of mine, I had asked to make me something to put my cards on, or something for, especially when I'm reviewing, to be able to showcase this a little bit better. I hope I can move stuff a little bit better. So I wanted to be able to have something specifically for this purpose. So this is what he created for me, and it's nice because it allows for things to sit up or lay back a little bit, so I can do angles better. So I was excited because when he got it done, I was like, sweet, great, because I got some new decks to share and a couple of readings. And the nice thing is too, is it makes it easier for me to because it's so long. It's literally, I'm not joking you, it's like about 2.5 feet long, almost 3 feet long. So I can do a huge spread right across and do that. So like showing casing cards or whatever. So I want to do a reading for us, and this is going to be a timeless reading. This is going to be a reading you can do at any time with these decks. What I want to do is, and by the way, these riffle shuffle like nobody's business. Okay, so if you're one of me, if you're like me and you like to riffle shuffle, they work perfectly. Yes, they are. Since they are from Hay House, they are a little bit slightly oversized for smaller hands. But I will tell you, the stock is actually quite good, and I find that I can maneuver them well. And I have discovered that when super stressed at work, I like to shuffle cards a lot. I'm not joking. I've had a really tough week at work recently, and I usually take a few decks to work with me. Oracle cards, my simple tarot. And I brought this deck to work with me a couple of times, and I actually was really grateful for it. And the reason behind it was the fact of I wanted to be able, there we go, to have the deck to give me a little bit more of a chance to know what I need to do, especially because work can be so stressful, especially in this day and age. And anybody who knows of me knows, like I said before, I work in an industry where it's customer oriented. The department I work in, I am an insurance agent, so I deal with a lot of people, and because of that, and I do work with, and currently there have been a lot of things that I've had to deal with recently, that changes in the law, people being out of work, that it can be frustrating, and trying to help so many people and being able to have the chance to help the people has been great, but it's figuring out how to do it without having to break the bank for them or put us at higher risk. That's been a balance of things to do. So I've been lucky, but it's been stressful. So let's do this reading. Oh, I love the fact that I can do this. You have no idea how awesome this is for me right now. I have to tell Ray how awesome he is to do this for me. That this has actually turned out perfect. And the reason why is because even though you guys can't see it fully, which I will adjust slightly for us, I can do it without the system going in overload here. There we go. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm so happy. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what we can do to open up to universal energies, to what I've always been trained is called the elements, basically the building blocks of the universe. Some people will break it down into the sacred elements of fire, air, water, earth, spirit, which is one of the ways I was actually taught. Some will just call it universal energies, some call it higher power. However you call it, my biggest thing is for this reading is what can we do to be not only in harmony with it, in sync with it, but what are we going to do to be able to become better aware of what we are doing? What are we doing to become the best person we can in sync with those higher energies, with the elements? So the first thing is it talks about is protection. I love this card. Isn't that pretty? Oh. And it says on there, call back your power, cut the cords, and do a soul retrieval. So it's talking about the fact that you need to go into protection mode first, review everything, call back your power. You've been letting out too much. You've been giving away too much. And pieces of you have been distributed from all the pain that has been done to you. Pain that you may also have caused and left those pieces elsewhere. If you've never been trained in soul retrieval, there are people who are, including myself. Soul retrieval is a process for that druids, shamans, and others are trained to do. And basically it's a process in which you basically walk your path from your childhood onward to different areas of your life that are very tender, very sore. And you call back those pieces to yourself and you bring them back in, you heal those aspects. So that may be something that a lot of us are trying to do right now. And I know that there's been a couple pieces of me recently I've had to deal with. Recent past. Some that I thought were healed that I didn't pick up all of them. So I need to go back and do. The next part is Sisterhood of the Rose. And this one is saying, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. Ask yourself, who are you within your sisterhood, within the people that you love to associate with, that basically are basically your soul group, your divine group of people that you hang out with, the ones that make you feel the best. Are they, do you consider yourself a priestess, a mystic, a teacher? Are you all three? Everybody has a place within the universe if they do. Some people do more than one. Yes, I'm a priestess. It is what it is. Although I will tell you, I probably am the least priestess-like person in the universe. Yes, I'm more of a mystic and a teacher. I've always been that way. But at the same time, too, everybody has beauty and everybody has the ability to be able to give more and show a devotion to each other, something we don't do enough of. We don't show enough love and care and kindness, and it's something that we, in general and in specifically, can do for each other. So what can you do as part of this sisterhood to give more of this kindness and beauty to the world? The Age of Light. And I like this. It's beautiful. I love the coloring on that one, even though it's more pastel than I usually like. It says, you've been training for this for lifetimes. So, when it comes to past lives, some of you may or may not believe in past lives. I do. Very much so. I know Nea Tarot actually has quite a few videos dealing with past lives, how to find it. In fact, I'm going to do a video about past lives and past life energy eventually, so you may end up hearing more from me about this. One of the things about past life and past life energy is that every past life gives you both information of what you've accomplished, what you didn't accomplish, and an underlying theme of what you've wanted to do or what your goal has always been to do. And there's usually a couple different goals. Mine has always been to help others from learning more about themselves, more about being a part of the world and being better, becoming not necessarily homogenous into one big huge entity, but accepting each other's cultures and reveling in the fact that as much as we are different, we are the same. And the fact that we can be all these different cultures, but we're all human. And we all bring a beauty and a pleasure and a purpose to this world. We are all caretakers of this world. And we need to do that together, because without doing it together, we will destroy this earth. And that has always been somewhat of a theme of my past lives. Right the wrongs. Do what it takes. And take care of the earth. So for you, it's finding out what your theme has always been. What things that you've been training to do to come into this age of light. What are your aspects? And mirror. Who or what is triggering you? This card really kind of hit me hard, and the reason why it did is one, as you see, she's actually touching the water and seeing her reflection of herself. But it actually, when we look in the mirror, a lot of times we think of, we see ourselves in the mirror, and some of us don't like looking in the mirror. That would be me. And some of us are okay with looking in a mirror. And you have to ask yourself, so what happens? What happens when we look in a mirror? What do we see, or what do we do that when we get to that point? And one of the things that the book says, it says, the filter of our own experience is how we experience life 90% of the time, through our own projections. When someone reminds us of an unhealed experience, we get triggered. Often it's an unconscious thing. If you've ever had PTSD and somebody triggers it, it is something that you go, woo, and you have to teach yourself to step back, and you have to teach yourself to think, is this now or is this then? And if it's now, did they mean to? And if they didn't mean to, you need to breathe, and you need to reflect what is true. And you're not in that position anymore, and you are safe. And it's tough sometimes. I mean, seriously, it is. But you've got this, and that's what the mirror card is about. It's about people and situations can trigger our mirrors to reflect back to us what we believe to be true about the life, the universe, and ourselves. Mirrors pointing to our shadow and our light. Mirrors revealing the parts of us that are yet to be accepted, witnessed, or loved. This card is guiding you to look closely at what experiences or people are currently triggering in you, and what they could be mirroring back to you. When have you felt like this before? Could they have been opportunities to heal something in you? Are they shining a light on something that longs to be witnessed in you? This goes for the good and the bad. The good, those who we admire, we put on a pedestal. If we do not realize that we are attracted to them because we are like them, we will need to cut them down in order to rise to their level. The bad, those we despise, are envious of, and put down. If we do not realize they trigger something in us, then it is still yet to be healed, and we will remain hurt and wounded ourselves. Work your light inquiry. Who or what is triggering you? What is it in you that they are triggering? What part of you longs to be witnessed? And I think that's the biggest part of this portion, is that it's talking about being protected, retrieving your soul in regards to the mirroring. And it basically, we're bouncing back to back, being part of the sisterhood, the beauty, in the direction, in the devotion, and being trained for lifetimes, going on this path, mystic, teacher, priestess. What is your path? How are you finding it? What triggers you to fall off your path? What triggers you to stay on your path? Who influences you and directs you? For me, it's people like Colette Baron-Reed or Tori Hartman. And Tori Hartman right now is doing, on her YouTube channel, the 52 week toolkit for her Wisdom Oracle cards, which I am following, and I'm doing, actually. And she's probably one of the few people in this universe that inspires me completely. Colette Baron-Reed is another. And the list grows. Annabelle Wen is working on her second Spirit Keepers Tarot. She's been writing, she's doing a video series on Taoist sorcery. I have been amazed over this sorcery thing, the sorcery that she's been doing. The whole video is, the 3 videos that she's put out so far have been amazing. It has brought me to a new level of appreciation of history and stuff that you don't get to hear or see usually, or know about, unless you are within that realm. And it makes things a little bit more clear on why certain parts of history, to me, have always intrigued me. These are things for you to think about. Who inspires you? Who makes you envious and jealous? I'm a little bit jealous and envious of Colette and Tori for their success. Annabelle as well. Ethany. Yeah, I'm envious in a way, but it's a good envy because there's room enough for everybody. So it's not like I'm in a bad envy. It's more of they inspire me to do better and be better. Age of Light. You've been training for your position in your place for lifetimes. There's nothing to stop you to take your place. Your sister. Lean on your sisters. Lean on your brothers. There's no reason why you cannot do what you want to do. You're part of a beauty. You're part of wonderfulness. You are a teacher, a mother, a mystic, a priestess, a priest. You are a father. You are a leader. You are a student. You have the way. The way that you are is a way in the path. That path leads to enlightenment. It leads to a way of seeing light and happiness and truth. Make sure that you heal yourself. Call back your power that you've been missing. Get the soul retrieval done. Those are important pieces to call back to you. There are things that you can do if you choose to do so for yourself, to do a soul retrieval. There are some books that you can retrieve for that purpose to do. Kathleen Matthews has one called The Soul Back Home. There's a few others as well. Only reason I know of Kathleen Matthews by offhand happens to be the fact that it's one of the ones that I actually owned while I was being trained. So definitely don't think you can't do it. It's just a little bit harder when you haven't been trained. So yeah, you can do this. It's not difficult. It takes a little bit more time. So this is the deck. Work Your Light. It is beautiful. It is stunning. It makes you think. It makes you work yourself. From the Council of Light to a warrior woman, it is more feminine energy oriented, but it is definitely a deck I would highly recommend for anybody who wants to broaden their intuition, for anybody who wants to have direct yes or no answers and questions, who wants to be able to touch deeper into your soul, into your intellect. This is truly a deck. I have to admit, I like pulling a card of a day. If I have questions for, am I on the right path, or is there something that I need to be aware of as I do my stuff for the day, it'll be like, boop, here it is. And it's like, oh, this can be like this, okay. And taking a deep breath and taking it in. So yeah, you got this. You can do this. This deck, it's not that expensive. I think it was like $18 US. It's available through hayhouse.com, hayhouse.co.uk, amazon.com, etc. So definitely look into it. I have to admit, Rebecca Campbell did an awesome job in creating this deck. So definitely a 10 out of 10. I'll talk to you later. Bendithium.